And let me be the first, second, and third to wish you a happy Friday and a happy Monday, or sorry, weekend, and a happy couple of days before a before a weekend. Speaking of, as we were chatting before I hit the record button here, all these kids and how caffeine can hopefully keep us alive and functioning. I'm going through like a serious situation right now. I only have 3 kids and I have 2 daughters, and I mix up my daughters' names literally 100% of the time, to the point that my 8-year-old daughter, the oldest, my oldest child, just laughs at me now. And it's not even, no part of me is joking, no part of me is like trying to make her laugh or silly or whatever. I cannot, like, I open my mouth and just something comes out, and it's usually the wrong name. And so I don't know. I hopefully that's not an aging thing. Hopefully it's just a current busyness thing. But anyway, all right, let's get started. Let's chat about some trading business here. Let's see what we got going on. Oh yeah, Peggy, 9 grandkids. That's that would be easy to mix up some names for sure. Very easy. Okay, guys. So what I wanted to talk about, I mentioned. So here is the here's the agenda today. Um, yeah, Dorothy, I think it does. Happens when you have more than one. Um, here's our agenda this fine morning here. Number one, my confession, whatever that is. Number two, our currency trades. We'll talk about those. Number three, stock options trades. That's where I want to kind of take this morning. So hopefully it is juicy. Okay, it's juicy-ish. It's kind of not juicy. We'll see. We'll see how juicy it is. Okay, so first off, to kind of start the morning, um, this year we've talked about this a little bit. This year's been just kind of a weird year. I mean, I think that sure goes without saying, right? I mean, it's been an interesting year. It's been Corona year. It's been stock market craziness year. It's been what's happening in the world year, and everything. I feel as though this has been on my mind for a couple of weeks. I feel as though when the whole Corona situation happened, I thought to myself, something good will come out of this. But sometimes for something good to come out, you got to flush out a couple of the bad things, right? And so this is all in relation to the trade group and everything that we're doing here. This trade group is, first of all, I just think you guys are all fantastic folk. And Sim here, just type the last thing. Sim has been in the trade group for around 8 years or 9 years, or maybe even 10 years. I can't even remember at this point. Maybe probably 8 years, probably about 8 years. Sim's been with me for a long time, and I feel like your family at this point. Many of you, it's been so long I can't keep track. And many of you have been with me for a very long time, and many of you have been with me for a short while, 6 months, 1 month, a year, whatever. Either way, very happy to have you guys, and I really love the trade group, and I just think it's a great thing. I do have to admit, though, that this year being the crazy year that it's been, I feel as though I have lost my way a little bit, right? And I've kind of been thinking about this, and I thought I've gotten so spread thin. I think I kind of panicked when everything happened, right? When the market freaked out and everything. I don't even think I've really had time to think about what happened or kind of go through the motions there. That was a pretty crazy time. And anyway, I feel as though I got a bit distracted doing doing a lot, right? I saw, when the whole Corona situation hit, and everybody thought, is this going to be the end of the world? And then somehow we kind of navigated through it, and everything. And I kind of got into this mode of, um, I've got to be as absolutely busy as possible. I've got to be kind of hitting every area of possible um, work related stuff, right? I began doing a lot of consulting. I began doing a lot of trainings. I began doing a whole lot of things, right? This year, I kind of took on a lot of different things this year, and the result kind of turned out to be a little bit needing to refocus my efforts, right? And I ended up I found myself spending a lot of energy and a lot of time on everything, right? Instead of spending a lot of energy and a lot of time on one or two things. And I've kind of had the realization this year that really our resources are limited. Resources referring to kind of the human being, right? Our ability to focus, our ability to, put our energy and attention on so many things, right? So that's kind of where I have felt my brain go this year, and I thought, okay, we've been doing so much, and my brain's been so many places, and I've been so busy. I've gotten to the point that I'm so busy that recently, I've probably mentioned to everyone here that I've had a few doctor's appointments lately, just getting my thyroid checked out. Nothing urgent. I knew I had a little bit of thyroid issues, right? And so I had to go to get it looked at, get it checked out by a specialist, and find out, what's going on. A couple of blood tests, nothing major. But it was kind of the realization that I couldn't make a doctor's appointment, right? I couldn't go to the doctor, and I had to end up going like 3 or 4, or heck, 5 times. I don't know, but it was so difficult to even go to a doctor. I thought, what am I doing, right? What is going on here? This is craziness. This is I'm spread so thin. I'm doing so many different things that I can't keep track, right? I can't keep track of what I'm doing, and I started to notice that these weeks, and that's why this year has turned out to be such a busy year with me putting my efforts and my attentions in so many different places, that now I look back and I go, how in the world is it even October, right? How are we in October right now? How did 8 months just pass by? Um, and I didn't even notice it, right? And markets doing what it's doing, and everything's doing what it's doing, and just so much is happening in my world and my day-to-day stuff that I can't keep track of anything, right? And so I thought to myself, um, it's time for a little refocusing. Now we had a couple webinars a few, maybe 2 months ago, maybe a little tiny bit more, where we said, okay, let's refocus our trading efforts. And I think that's okay, but I think that um, I have been quite caught up in spending a lot of time in a lot of little places when I should be spending all my time in the big places, right? Um, and so that's kind of the thought that's been running through my mind. Yeah, exactly, Sim. Not the trader life we signed up for, and yeah, getting older. Yeah, free year membership. Oh yeah, all good stuff. So anyway, I have to say that as all of this started to happen towards the beginning of the year, and I thought to myself, good things will come out of this, and good things have come out of this. And what has come out of this is kind of I think, a new take on the trading group, right? I, for example, have been trading stock and options for like, you know, 15, 16, 17 years, somewhere in there, basically as long as I've been trading currencies. But for whatever reason, I thought to myself, we'll just focus the trading group on currencies for all these years. I think adding stock and options this year to the trade group has been a great addition, and I think it's only going to get a ton better. It's going to make us better traders. Everyone as a whole. There's a lot of people that are coming into the group that only trade stock and options that need to learn about currencies, and there's a lot of currency traders, obviously, in the group that need to learn about stock and options. And so, I think that's one good thing that's going to come out of all of this. The other good thing is I've kind of had my brain all over the place and everything everywhere. I've got so many excellent ideas for our currency trading side of things that I have not had the time or energy or ability to put together. And so my confession to everybody here is that basically starting this month, I'm winding down basically everything else that I'm doing. Pretty much everything else I'm doing is getting completely minimalized to the most minimal degree. And all of my time and energy and attention for work related stuff, of course, I'm going to have to put a lot of time and energy and attention into my family and mountain biking and skiing addiction, of course. Um, but all of my work related time and energy is going to be focused on three things: making everybody in the group the best traders they can be, teaching everybody in the group the things that everyone needs to learn, right? Whether it's currency trading or stock and option trading, it's about a 50-50 at this point. Half need to learn one and half need to learn the other. And then the other thing is putting in, our stock and option stuff is so fantastic. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, about how that's all going to go. But the other thing that I want to put a ton of time and energy into um, is the approach that we have in currency trading, right? I've been testing a lot of things, but again, I've had to such limited time to kind of put my time and energy where it needs to be on that front. And so, what I want us to continue to do in the currency side of things, last year we had a really great year trading, and in this group we essentially just did long-term currency trades. Some of them we waited in for long periods of time, but we had a great year. We made a lot of pips, we made a lot of money, everything was great. This year, it's been a lot of everything. And so what I want us to kind of do moving forward is, number one, incorporate all the stock and options trades that we can. Because remember, when the currency market is kind of sideways and boring, and there's been a lot of sideways and boringness the last few months in currencies, there's been little spouts of movement here and there. But for the big long-term directions that we've been looking for and waiting for and hoping for and so on, there's been a lot of just kind of nothing happening, right? Long-term directions have not developed or had any kind of significant moves in the last 2 to 3 months. The short-term trades have been good. Our robot has caught some pretty decent trades. By the way, is everybody in the New Zealand yen trade? I think I talked about that. I got filled on New Zealand yen at the chart that's right in front of me. I got filled at 69.93. Everyone in right around somewhere in that vicinity. So anyway, the robot's done a good job catching some of the short-term trades for us. The robot that we are using, the one that we have right now in front of us, that's in a New Zealand yen buy trade, that's making us 30 or 35 pips right this moment, is the absolute tip of the iceberg. It's the absolute tip of the iceberg. We have so much more to do and go and just to work with in this arena. I I hate short-term trading. I mean, I couldn't dislike it any more than I currently do. But short-term trading is a necessary evil, right? It is a necessary evil, not an unnecessary evil, but it's a necessary evil. I really don't like short-term trading. I like to sit in front of my charts and sweat about trades and do all that stuff. But the robot has kind of opened up the possibilities. The robot in terms of craziness these days is our gateway drug, right? The robot is getting us really hooked on the short-term trades and how powerful and how great we can make them. Here is what I do not want to do. And this is what is going to take a lot of my time, and this is what I'm happy to do. I don't want to be a scalper. I have no interest in that. I never have, and I never will. But I have a lot of interest in putting technology to work to scalp for us, right? And so when I say that the robot is the tip of the iceberg, we're going to be doing a lot with the automated trading side of things for the short-term trades. That's how I would love to have us approach shorter term trading in the currency market, right? Our forex short term trading should be basically all automated, and right now it pretty much is. I'm not taking any short term trades. I'm letting the robot trade some of these 30, 40, 50 pip runs for us, especially as they happen overnight. for those of us, in kind of U.S., Canada, kind of related time zones. But it's always overnight for somebody, right? All the Australians, it's overnight for those guys when the robot's trading, during the U.S. session. So overnight, it's always overnight somewhere, but that will be our approach, right? And we have probably three robots that are in mental development right now that need to get into physical development, and those will all be coming. And they've been on my mind. I've been testing them, ideas and thoughts about them, and kind of looking at the details. But I just haven't had enough time to kind of bring those things to fruition. My time and energy will be heavily focused on that starting this month. So we're going to have a very active approach at short-term trading with various types of robots, right? And there's so much potential and there's so much possibility with these robots. And I've just done so very little due to my lack of time. So that's going to be that'll be kind of our currency approach in the group is short-term robot trades, and as soon as possible we'll have 2 to 3 robots running in various kind of trading conditions and in various currency pairs and so on. So the robot is going to be our good friend. So be prepared for that. That is coming. And like I said, using this robot, seeing how it works with the group, getting a feel for, how we can manage these trades and how they work and so on has really kind of opened the door for us on the robot side of things. And then we will continue with our long-term trades, right? Because the long-term trades make us a ton of money as well. When we get these nice long-term opportunities that we can sit in a trade for several weeks or even a couple of months and make big profits with several positions, with tons of positions, we want that too. So we want to have a long-term approach, and that will be manual trading, where we're just physically getting into the trades ourselves and physically getting out of the trades. And on the short-term side of things, we'll leave that to the automated situation. Now, as we've seen with the automated trading so far, this is not just a set and forget kind of a thing. And the robots that I will be introducing in the coming weeks and months will not be set and forget either. They're going to be, a certain kind of robot needs to be on a certain kind of a currency pair for today, and we need to manage it ourselves. So it's going to require a lot of human action. In the early days of currency trading, there was always this, one of the ones I remember was the Forex autopilot, right? And it was $97, and they would say, put it in there and you never have to do a thing. Just put your money in there, put the autopilot to work. Don't even look at your trading account. In a year, you'll have $1 million. Of course, everybody lost their money with that. And that kind of trading doesn't really exist. So if anyone says there's a set and forget robot out there, there really isn't. So these robots are going to require a lot of, group, direction and instruction on where and when and how to use them and how to manage our positions. So that'll be one thing. And then we'll, of course, be looking at our long-term trades for the manual trading side of things. So that's going to kind of be the currency side of the approach. But the other thing that I want everyone to make sure that you're getting very involved with and very, very up to speed with is the stock and options side of it as well. As I mentioned, I've traded stock and options for as long as I've traded currencies, but we've had a big focus on just the currency trading side of things in the group. This year, because the stock market went crazy and everyone was asking about it so much, and I thought we need to be talking about the stock market more than we are. And so this year we introduced stock and option trading to the group, and it's been pretty fantastic. It was kind of anytime you introduce something to a group that wasn't previously doing that thing, there's a little bit of adjustment period to kind of get used to everything. But one of the most important roles stock and options trading will play in our whole approach to trading is when the market is volatile, currency trading is the best, right? When we have any kind of panic, when we have any kind of crazy thing happening, currency trading is the best. When the market is very low volatility and very sideways, like we've seen right now, if we look at a lot of these, we can look at this New Zealand yen, right? We see this kind of thing where it's just a lot of sideways movement. We see Aussie CAD, right? For a couple of months, sideways movement. Aussie yen, just sideways movement. Euro dollar's actually had a little bit of a euro dollar had a good move, but still, since July, euro dollar has just been totally sideways, right? DXY dollar index again since about July, it hasn't really done anything. So then we get these kind of 2 3 month stretches where the currency market is just sideways. Now, what has happened in this sideways movement? The robots grabbed a bunch of trades, and that's awesome. And that's where we say, okay, robot, do your business, right? We've been trading this pound Aussie on the robot like crazy, and it's done pretty excellent for us, right? But what's the pound Aussie been doing? The pound Aussie has been totally, uh, basically totally sideways. Hold on, did I? Oh, there we go. Just letting another person in. Pound Aussie's been totally sideways since June, and it's had these runs right here that go for several days, couple of days, couple of days. But for the most part, Pound Aussie did all of its trending here, and then it got sideways in June. So we end up with these 2 and 3 and 4 month sideways markets, and the robot does well for us, and the new coming robots and new coming ideas are going to do well as well in these kinds of scenarios, and that's why we have them, and that's so great. I love that. There are some scalping opportunities. There's some short-term trading opportunities in there, but again, that's kind of where I want to have the robot running. I don't want to sit in front of my computer trying to catch all these scalps and trying to catch all this stuff. So we're going to have some automated trading that's going to work really well on really short time frames, like 1 minute charts, and some automated trading that'll work really well, like we have the robot on 5 and 15 minute, even 30-minute charts. And we'll have some other details to be worked in there, and that's going to be my next biggest task to work on. But on top of that, trying to catch some big long-term swings in the currency market the last few months, there hasn't been, right? There haven't been these swings, right? But then when we look at the stock market's been making this, massive upswing, and of course, stock market kind of took a little dip here in the beginning of September, but since basically the end of September, it's been working its way back up again. So where these two things will kind of intersect, currency and stock and option trading, is when things are real low volatility and the currencies aren't moving like we've seen. The stock market is usually doing very, very good. The stock market flourishes in a low volatility environment, right? And that's where we've been. We've been in a pretty low volatility environment the last few months, and the stock market has just been going nuts, right? There is endless stock and option opportunities here, low risk, high profitability opportunities that we can be doing while we're letting the robot do the short-term trading in the currency market, and while we're waiting for our long-term trades to play out. When the market gets high volatility, stocks tend to either sell off aggressively, or when volatility starts to step up, stocks can go sideways or dip, right? And then that's not very fun to trade stocks. So then we go right back over to getting additionally active on the currency side of things, because the currency market will just go crazy in high volatility. So this light kind of turned on for me a bit this year, where I thought, oh my gosh, there the stock market and the currency market really serve two completely separate purposes, and they really do great in very different environments. And so if we can have a good handle on both of those, then we're going to be killing it, right? And that's what I want to do. I want us to kill it. I want this trade group to kind of be the everything trade group. This is going to be the Amazon of trade groups, right? Where, what do they call Amazon? The everything store. We're going to be the everything trade group, without being the everything trade group. I really want to focus our time and energy on stock, options, currencies, automated trading. That's where I want everything to be. And I think we can all do that and pick that up in a very efficient manner. And so that's going to be kind of our big focus this year. Yes, Manji, yeah, you got soybeans and pork belly futures and so on. And there's, the future side of things has a lot of opportunity and possibility there as well. And that's something that, we'll also be talking about. But I really want us to kind of take that route and take that approach and make sure that we are doing a little bit of everything. I've been having Thursday night webinars, right, where I've been explaining our option trading strategies. I probably, I'm trying to figure out the exact schedule that I'm going to use here, but as we're really going through this heavy education period, right? Because again, we have a lot of people in here that have never traded currencies, and we have a lot of people in here that have never traded stock and options. So I'm going to be using that Thursday night webinar time, and I may add to it even more. But we're gonna just say, our Monday and Friday webinars are going to be what they are, and our Thursday webinar is going to just, it's been pretty dedicated to education, and I'm going to dedicate it even more to various types of education. Right? We're going to spend some time on currency trading in the Thursday night webinars. We're going to spend more time going into the absolute basics of stock and option trading on Thursday nights. So everybody that needs to learn one or the other, that's going to be the place to do it. I'm also going to put together a series of videos, short videos, like 5 to 10 minute videos that explain basic strategies in the option trading side of things, and some basic things in currency trading side of things. So that's kind of the approach that I want us to have. So again, it's going to be, we're going to be doing long-term manual currency trading. Those are long-term positions that are open for weeks or months. We're going to be doing short-term automated currency trading. And of course, there will be opportunities for short-term manual currency trading as well, if, for those that are interested in that. And then we're going to be doing kind of shorter to mid-term stock and option trading, and that's going to be awesome. So we need to get that side of things really kind of rocking and rolling. And so this is what I want to see, our group really focus on. I want everybody to become the best, most well-rounded traders you can be. And it just so happens that I know how to do all these things pretty well, and I've been doing them for a really long time. And so let's use this opportunity that we have together to be amazing currency traders, to be amazing stock traders, to be amazing option traders, and to really understand the automated side of things. We're already well on our way on all of these things. So I really want to double down our focus, our time, and our energy on that. And I want to make sure that we're giving all those things the time and energy that they need. And for that reason, I am, I'm certainly sacrificing money. I'm certainly sacrificing a lot so that this can be a main goal, a main purpose, a main reality for all of us in the trade group. I will be giving up a lot of various types of business that I do currently, just to get, because I think that's where this is where our best time and energy will be spent. And so this year, as I found myself running in 10 or 20 different directions, doing a little bit of everything and not having enough time to even, go see a doctor for an hour. And I thought to myself, I'm totally off track here. And we need to absolutely make sure that that we're spending our time and we're spending our energy in the most productive places. And in my opinion, right now, this is where the most productive time and energy can be spent. How does everybody feel about all that? What are your guys' thoughts, feelings, questions, so on? Peggy, hopefully the group will get massive, so it's a good thing. So Justin, so you're saying I should cash out my IRA? Possibly. Andrew, fantastic, good. Yeah, James, trying to keep things in line here. That's for sure. Good, excellent. All right, good, Peggy and Sim, good. So I'm going to be working on kind of all the details as far as, just schedules and all the things that we're going to be doing. And I'm going to have kind of an outline of probably the next 10 webinars that we'll have and what those things will cover. And I want to have an outline of what the educational webinars will be, because those that say, Sim, for example, or James, or those that have been trading currencies for a long time, you may not want to attend the webinar where I explain what a pip is, right? It's probably going to be a little boring for you. Maybe it won't. I always think education is always good. but I'll have an outline so that everybody will know what they are attending, right? And then we're going to have an outline, of course, of what are the basics to option trading? What is a credit spread? What is a covered call? How do we trade all this stuff? And of course, we've covered that in a lot of past webinars, but I want to make sure that there's an easy go-to place where we can, discuss that, where all the people that are unfamiliar with those specific things can become familiar with those specific things. So I'll work on that. I'll get that all put together, and I'll have that available for you guys in the next week or so. But that's kind of our plan of attack. Yes, Peggy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Yes, Mel, you're exactly right. Repetition, we can't have enough of it. It's true. So I want to just make sure everybody gets all the proper education, that we have the tools we need so that we can be as amazing at this as possible. So again, something great has come from this year, and that is, kind of dipping toes into a little bit of everything and realizing, I mean, in all the years in the trading group, this type of automated trading has been around for a very, very long time. And stock and options obviously been around for a very, very long time. And what have we added to the trade group this year? Automated trading and stock and options. And they're both very, very profitable ventures that will make our trade group 10 times what it is and what it could ever be by just kind of sticking with our single approach. Last year we just had that single approach, right? And it worked well for us. We made a lot of money. And this year we had to kind of dip the toes a little bit and see where everything, where we could add to what we were doing. And I think that this is going to be a really great approach for the group. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you in all of this. And I think we're going to be able to do some really, really good things. So I'm excited for the next year ahead, and I'm excited for the next month ahead, and I'm excited for all that's going to come with this, because the world is increasingly turning to, we've got to manage our own funds, right? And one purpose that currency trading plays is, currency trading is excellent for retirement, investment, and so on. And there's a lot of good opportunities for that there. But stock and options can be very, very excellent for kind of that longer term investment for us. And so if you all can learn how to trade stock and options as proficiently as possible, that will serve you as well as being a proficient currency trader forever. And it'll be really, really important. A lot of people don't have savings. A lot of people don't have retirement. And these are tools that you can use to build those things up, to build up your savings, to build up your retirement, to do all of that. And of course, to make your money as well, and become, a proficient full-time trader. And the more tools we have to work with on that, the better off we are. Okay, that's my confession / announcement. I didn't plan on it taking the first 40 minutes of the webinar, but it's important. It's really important. So it's this is our baptism in the trade group here by fire. So yes, we are kind of rehoning our focus, and I think it's going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Any thoughts, questions, comments before we move on to a couple of things? We have a few things to mention on our stock and options positions, and a couple things to say about the currency market, and then we'll move on with a lovely Friday. Everyone good? Any questions, any thoughts, any details, anything at all? Okay. So guys, a couple of things that we'll be doing. I've published this list right here so everybody can keep an easy kind of look at our current stock and options positions. So that's right there in the stock and options alert section. So make sure you're checking that out. These are all of our current trades, so we'll talk about those. Let's have a little quick peek, though, at the currency side of things. I don't even want to talk about Aussie dollar pairs right now because I'm just tired of talking about the Australian dollar. We've got positions on the Australian dollar. We're going to wait on the Australian dollar. It's going to move. It's going to make us a bunch of money. That's all I got to say about that. However, we did talk at the beginning of the week about euro pairs, and I think that's going to be a crucial, important situation. I posted some charts about the euro CAD. We don't trade the euro CAD often, right? We trade it just about never-ish. And I posted this chart. We've obviously talked about it a bit this week, and so on. And the euro CAD is really trying to kind of make a move for us. And so I do want to make sure that we've got the, the appropriate time and attention focused on this thing. It's a choppy, terrible mess, but this is kind of a pretty good looking head and shoulders pattern for a medium term chart. This is a 4 hour chart. And so we're just kind of watching this. We're letting this thing play out just a little bit. I want to see how EuroCAD behaves. It did what we wanted it to do. It broke out, it pulled back and retested. Now it's consolidating down here. It would be good to kind of get the EuroCAD breaking a little bit lower beyond this consolidation. So I'm going to make sure that I have an alert set there so that I can see when that EuroCAD does make a break for it, because I think that's where our big move is probably going to start. I think the robot can do well on EuroCAD. I think there's going to be some opportunity on that. But for the most part, I think there's some good things in the works there. So EuroCAD is very, very interesting. I'm loving this. I think this is going to be a huge trading opportunity for us, because the thing that we've been kind of looking for is what's going to happen here, right? Is this a rounded bottom and a break of that neckline at 57.50, or is this a big double top? It is a big double top, but is that double top going to hold? And it's starting to look increasingly like that double top is not going to hold. And as we kind of look at, remember what we've talked about recently, just being on the right side of the trend line, right? Just being on the right side of the trend line. That's kind of the thing that we've been watching and making sure that we're trying to keep track of. And right now we have a pretty long-term trend line that goes back to, around the beginning of the year, that is, that is slowly breaking out right here. And so we've got this little breakout action happening. It sure looks like the EuroCAD has possibility of kind of making that type of a move for us. And so I want to be able to grab 300 to 500 pips out of this. It doesn't have to be an ultra long-term trade, but I think it could be a medium-term trade. We could be in something like this for a little while, and I want to see if we can get a move down. For now, I think the robot could actually do pretty well for us on this. It's looking pretty choppy right now. It ran up, it ran down, and it's kind of deciding what it wants to do here. But the robot could do very well for us on the EuroCAD. This was, as we were kind of waiting for confirmation, the robot would have sold here and sold here and sold here. Of course, given that these were the right times of day, and that it would normally be trading. But there's some good opportunities there. And so I think as this consolidation kind of breaks and as this kind of movement happens here, I think the robot's going to do pretty well for us. And that's another thing that I'll be, focusing a lot more time and energy on, is testing various scenarios. I've tested a lot of scenarios with the robot, but I haven't, I've really only scratched the surface with all the types of scenarios we can test with the robot. So anyway, EuroCAD is a big focus for me coming up. So EuroCAD's a big one, as is Euro Swiss franc. So if EuroCAD just turns out to be a mess, Euro Swiss franc, might be a good alternative for us. So I really like the bullish look on Euro Swiss franc. I really like the bearish look on EuroCAD, and we're going to see which ones go where. Right? Remember, the euro is typically not a huge driver. So we could see the Euro Swiss go up and the EuroCAD go down. The Swiss franc is much more of a driver. The Canadian dollar is much more of a driver. The euro, most of the time, is very neutral, very vanilla, very just kind of, where are we going, folks, and can I come kind of a thing. And so we can have euro pairs going opposite directions. So I think that is something to kind of keep in mind here. Manji, okay, you did a 15-minute on EuroCAD as an experiment, got a few pips with the robot. Excellent, very good. I love it. I love it. And I encourage you guys to experiment and try some of these things. Use the robot, do these kinds of scenarios so that you can make sure that you're finding what works really good for you. So that's good. So we're going to focus a lot of energy there. We have a lot of energy focused on waiting for this darn thing, but Euro Aussie is going to be huge. And again, I'm kind of tired of talking about Aussie pairs because they just don't go anywhere. But Euro Aussie, there's short-term opportunities in this small range here, right? Euro Aussie's kind of making its moves, and you can see that the robot, would have done just fine right there on Euro Aussie, and would have done, great in many opportunities back here. But there's still a lot of chop. And that's why I don't really want to mess with Euro Aussie that much right now. But as this thing starts to break out, this is going to be a huge trade for us. We're so excited about the Aussie CAD breaking out. We're so excited about some of the yen pairs starting to crank. We're so excited about Euro Aussie, Euro CAD, Euro Swiss starting to move. Euro Aussie could go just either direction. Euro CAD, I'm leaning on the downside movement. Euro Swiss, I'm leaning on the upside movement. So we kind of have three pairs within the same currency that one looks very bullish, one looks very bearish, and one looks like it's 50-50, right? And so we have all that kind of within just three currencies. So these will be exciting things to trade, and should give us some really, really good opportunities. So we're going to focus our energy on that. I am getting a little more interested. We still have a lot of chop on some of these guys, right? We're still kind of working on this on these New Zealand pairs starting to move. I don't know why they won't move, but they just won't move. We kind of have this, upper choppy messiness, right? But what this looks like to me is as we excuse me, as we kind of have this little area here, this looks like we could see some New Zealand pairs making a move for us, eventually, right? And those moves could look a little bit like this. I mean, it's a little messy, but the idea is there. And so we start getting these kinds of head and shoulders patterns happening more and more, and we could see some pretty fantastic movement coming out of this. So that kind of consolidation there certainly is looking like bigger, longer term patterns are starting to play out. So I think New Zealand pairs will be pretty interesting. So I'm curious to see how these guys play out, but there's just too much chop there. There's no confirmation. There's nothing to work with. It's just all sideways activity. Same thing on New Zealand Swiss here. Just a lot of sideways movement. Just a lot of sideways movement. And so we need to get out of these channels. We need to get these guys out of these channels. We've got the New Zealand yen trading, and again, total chop garbage, right? This is total trashy, choppy, untradeable junk. And yet the robot is, let me just look here. The robot is, I'm still up 30, just about 30 pips. So the robot's still got about 30 pips profit here in the middle of this chop. So we'll be careful about all the chop that we trade with the robot, because the robot can get chewed up in a lot of chop, and we don't want that to happen. But these guys have big potential for us. They have huge potential. There's huge potential. We've talked about this one a lot. I think this is going to be a very interesting one when and if it ever kind of plays out. We'll just kind of see where that right shoulder might end up going. But if we get that dollar bullishness starting to happen, then New Zealand dollar looks so amazing for a head and shoulders pattern and for a break of this neckline and a big push there. So, I'm just running through these quickly. I know I'm not explaining a lot about these. I'm just running through them quickly to show you guys that we have some great things in the works, but we're just stuck waiting for them, right? This is, what do you do with that in the meantime? Nothing. You do nothing with it. That's the hard, cold reality, is we do nothing with that. There's short-term scalps to be had in there. And the robot, can do some with that, but not a lot. And so we have to just kind of wait for these movements to happen and for these breakouts to happen. And that's why I'm loving the robot right now. It's catching, little spikes and little, moves here and there while we're waiting for the bigger plays to happen. But remember, one thing that we know about currency trading is when things consolidate like this, the breakouts can be quite severe to the point that they almost become scary. So we're going to be very cautious, very careful, and we're only going to trade confirmation on these. But when these breakouts do happen, we have some very, very big trades coming. So we have absolutely massive trades coming on the currency side of things. So I hope everybody's kind of ready for that. Okay, so that's kind of all I want to say about that side of things. We're just waiting for those. We're letting the robot rock and roll. It's doing a pretty good job for us. And we're just kind of waiting for these bigger, better trades to, finally kind of get us going, get things moving. Probably at this point, and I hate to do this without a ton of notice, but probably at this point we can just close the New Zealand yen, and let's just take some profit on that. That's making a nice little pullback. It's Friday. These kinds of things happen on Friday. So close the robot, take profit. There's still about 30 pips there of profit. Take it, be done. And I'll have to alert on that shortly. But let's be done, and let's be out of the New Zealand yen with the robot. Take our 30 pips, just close the trade, leave the robot running, just close the trade, and we'll take our 30 pips on that, and we're fine with that. So that's super good. And we can see that, New Zealand yen is just kind of approaching the top of this shorter term consolidation. And that's why we want to be taking some good profit there. Okay, so that's the robot side of things. Let's talk for just a moment here. Not just a moment. I don't want to rush it. We're going to talk about where our option positions are going. So for those that are new to the option side of things, just try to digest this a little bit as best you can. We have trades that are expiring today. We have Bank of America and KHC. And at this point, it's looking like we might not even get a signed Bank of America, which would be kind of bad news. I want to get a sign on Bank of America, but we might not get a sign. So at this point, for those that are kind of new to the option side of things and looking at this, you're saying, okay, what does all this mean? What do I care? If at the close of the market today, in the next several hours, if Bank of America is above $25.50, then we don't own the stock and we just make some money. If it is below $25.50, we do own the stock, but the money that we would have made gets to be applied to the stock price. So we own the stock at a slightly cheaper price than $25.50. Right now, the stock's trading at $25.36. So it's only a handful of cents away from us owning this or not owning this. So there we go. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what we end up with. KHC, this is Kraft Heinz. Does anybody eat Heinz? Wow. Anybody? There we go. Heinz 50 cents. Does anybody remember these commercials? These guys right here, right? Can you still buy these bottles of ketchup? Anybody remember those good old commercials there? Heinz 57. Remember that? You would you'd hit the bottle and then wait for like an hour. Somebody would leave the restaurant and come back, and the ketchup still hadn't come out because it was so thick, and everyone thought that was so great. But that's this company. That's these guys. We own some ketchup. These guys have been around for a real long time. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yep. And the beans. That's right. So we're in that stock, and we've got a position. We have an option position on there. This one is guaranteed for us to own the stock, right? If this ends up today above $32.50, we don't own the stock and we make some money. If it ends below $32.50, we do own the stock, and we're doing pretty good. Our break even on this stock, the stock's trading at $31.05, and our break even's about $30.90. This is basically a 100% chance this is going to end the day below $32.50. It's at $31.04 right now. So it's going to end below $32.50. We're going to own the stock, but our break even, the broker is now saying, okay, I'm forcing you to buy the stock at $32.50. But the reality is we own the stock at $30.90 because we're able to pull profit from here and from the other leg of the option trade that we closed. And that all gets to be applied to the price of the stock, to where we really own it. So we'll be in good shape. We will turn Kraft Heinz into a covered call on Monday. We're going to sell an option on KHC on Monday, and we'll see what we end up doing on Bank of America. I'd love to own Bank of America on Monday, but we might not own it. We might not have it. We might end up with a situation where Bank of America on at the end of the day is above, and we'll just make some money on it. So it's a no lose for us. It's win-win for us on the option trade with Bank of America, and it's certainly a win-win with Kraft Heinz, with KHC. So we have some good things in the works there. That's right. John Kerry, his wife is one of the Heinz people. So So we have this kind of scenario in the works. We have nothing to do with our options trades right now. We're just simply going to let Bank of America run till expiration and see what happens. We're going to let Kraft Heinz, KHC run till expiration. Nothing to do. Just leave these run, let them go, be done, and we'll see where everything is on Monday. You could potentially look at Bank of America for those that have the Bank of America trade. If you see that, I don't know, if you see that it's still below 25.50 and there's no money left in your mark price here, there's no value left to your option, you could always close it out if you don't want to own the stock. But I want to own the stock, and I would actually be sad if I don't own the stock. So I hope it expires below 25.50, but we'll just kind of see where it goes. We win either way, so it's not really a problem. And KHC will be owning that one. So we'll let these guys kind of play out. Let everyone, have a chance to kind of reassess how much money you have in your stock account and what you can do and what we can all do, and then we'll come back on Monday with some new stock positions. We're seeing, SPY, S&P here just kind of keeps trucking higher. It's not slowing down at all. So we'll just, we'll keep taking the kinds of trades that we take, which benefit if the market goes up and severely protects our downside if the market goes down. And KHC, this Kraft Heinz trade is a prime example. We put a bet on saying, I'm betting that this can be above $32.50 at expiration, which is today. And look at it, it's quite a bit below $32.50, right? Most option traders would call that a loss. They would say, well, you lost money, close out your trade, it's not going to work. And they would actually physically take a loss, which blows my mind. What we do is we do a little bit of shuffling and a little bit of the two-step. And now we're going to end up owning the stock lower than where we wanted it to go with the option trade, but our break even, or where we actually own the stock, is going to be even further below that. So we're immediately going to let this expire, or we'll let this expire and we'll immediately be in stock profit. So other option traders would have taken a loss on this. We're going to own the stock, and if we want to just close it out on Monday, we can close it out with a small profit on Monday. I don't want to do that. I want to sell an option on this, and hopefully this is going to pay us something decent for selling, a 31. Our break even, remember, on this one is $30.90. We can sell a $31 kind of 2-week expiration here for 65 to 70 bucks per contract, right? So if you're in 10 contracts, 20 contracts, 50 contracts, you can sell a lot of options on this and make some pretty good cash. If we go out a little bit further, 3 weeks, make 112, 120 bucks selling an option on that, plus a little bit of money on the stock profit. So it's a win for us. We're happy for that. All of our option, stock and options trades the last couple of months have all been profitable. The only one that we're sitting on that's kind of slow going is this NYCB. We own the stock at NYCB, and it's coming back, but it's slowly coming back. But it's a small position. We don't own, it's a cheap stock, $8.74. So it's one that's, we can just let sit in the background. Okay, that's all we need to do. We took some profit on the New Zealand yen. We're going to let Bank of America and KHC just run and expire wherever the cards may fall. And we're going to kind of take that route. And I'm looking forward to the future with everybody here. Hopefully you guys are excited with what we're talking about and doing, and hopefully it will add some good things to your trading game. We need to be doing all these things, and so hopefully that is super helpful and to everyone's bottom line, right? To everyone's money-making opportunities. So looking forward to all that. I'm looking forward to spending a good bit more time with you guys in the group and doing, lots of educational material to get everybody up to speed with what we're doing, and, doing a bit more in the live sessions during the week. I'm looking forward to all of that. So I think that's going to be great. I think it'll be a great opportunity for us, and I'm looking forward to it. Glad to have you guys all with us. Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts, any comments before we wrap up the webinar this morning? Anything to bring up? Everyone feeling okay about all the details at hand? Um, Whoops. All right. Um, okay. Very good, guys. Lovely to be with you all. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope everyone is happy and well and healthy and staying well in this crazy time. I had this weird thought last night, and I thought, you know, we are all so afraid of being around other human beings now because they have the corona. And I'm not playing it down at all. We all need to be careful. We all need to be cautious. But also, I just want to throw out there, take a little bit of extra opportunity to at least say hi to somebody, connect with people. I feel like one thing that I've noticed is people are much more standoffish and much more distant. And I think that's terrible for the human race. Keep your mask on, stay 6 feet away, whatever makes you comfortable, but say hi to people. Say hi to people. Say hi to 10 people a day. It'll make your day better, it'll make their day better. All right, guys, that's all I have for everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys back here on Monday. Thanks, guys. Take care, everybody.